So mine's been an unexpected journey, I think is the best way to say it. I studied finance here, my international MBA concentration at South Carolina. And so I thought that that's kind of what I would do in technology companies for my career. And it was only sort of later on through a coach who said, just because that's what you got your degree in, or even that's what you've been working in, you can make a broader impact than that. And that journey led to, through some mentorship and sponsorship, a chief product officer role, and then taking over our operations for my cybersecurity company, and then about 2.5 years ago, stepping into the CEO role. So it's been an amazing opportunity over the years to both receive mentorship and encouragement, and then pay that forward, especially later in my career, that all started here at South Carolina. To be frank, I was, growing up in DC, I was very interested in other cultures and other histories and travel. And the idea of combining a business career with that international aspect was really attractive. And given its #1 status, I was very, very excited and proud to come to the program. Then as I sort of learned more about what it really means to operate in a cross-cultural world, and the degree to which you have to study and constantly be open to and aware of how other people take in the world, how they make decisions, what's important to them, and being respectful of that while still operating your business. I think those lessons that we learned with all those case studies and discussions and cross-cultural experiences, they still come up today. And I think that's a powerful thing when those memories are still relevant to a very different world than when I was in school. So I made a conscious decision while I was getting my MBA that I wanted to set my career in the technology sector. I knew the growth, the complexity, the opportunity to work on leading edge products would be a great career, sort of a lifelong ability to be interested and sustained. The part for me about cybersecurity in particular, which happened in 2008, I was reading an article in The Economist about cybersecurity and the emerging importance of that in the world, and the impact on businesses and governments. And it was that sort of moment of seeking out a company that was based in Atlanta, that was pretty early stage and private. And when I talked to the CFO at the time, and he talked about the mission of the company, I remember saying to him, "You must be so proud to come in to work and do this every day." And he said, "I absolutely am." And it was the beginning of something that was even more important than an interesting and rewarding career. It was something that's an interesting and rewarding life. The technology roles are important because of the outsized impact that it can have on every single person's life in a really good way. I think the responsibility around that, as you can see from the need for cybersecurity, is to make sure that as both business leaders and as global citizens, we're also mindful of the way technology can impact us in not such good ways, and that we work to ensure that those impacts don't outweigh the good. And that's a pretty important responsibility for all of us, for future business leaders especially, to think about what impact they want to have in the world and what wake they may have that they don't anticipate, and be mindful about how they approach their business and life accordingly. Here's the great news. Change is the only certainty. And in the technology space, that change is something that if you embrace it and you're resilient to sometimes the hard moments in those changes, it can be incredibly rewarding and fulfilling. I think the only way to prepare for any career these days, because the impact of technology is broad, well beyond the technology industry, is to embrace change and be a lifelong learner. I focused on finance and international business while I was here. And while I'm certainly in an international business, I had no background in engineering or cybersecurity, or I'm on a quantum computing board or quantum computing. But a natural curiosity, reaching out to others who are experts in that field, they're always willing to share their knowledge. Um, that doesn't limit you. Right? What you did in school is important. It teaches you how to think critically. It teaches you how to interact with others. But the limitation I think sometimes people feel of I'm a lawyer or I'm an accountant. I think one of the most important things in a career and in a life is not being bound by that, but building on that. The one thing I would say to my younger self is, it's okay to find your voice. It's okay to have a voice in the room. You don't have to know everything. You don't have to be the smartest person in the room to still be able to contribute something positively. And so that's probably the thing I would to share with others, that hopefully they hear that and voice that thought that's in their head a little bit sooner than they might otherwise.